learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid. I always try to think, because we live in a world of social media where we need instant gratification. Try to think about things from the long-term point of view.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today I'm welcoming to the show Moose, the mind behind DMoose, an e-commerce brand that started back in 2017 with a global mission to empower everyday athletes. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Chase, thank you so much for having me.
I'm excited to chat. So quickly, just so folks can have an idea of the type of business DMoose is, like what are the products you guys are currently selling every day?
So DMoose is an online one-stop shop fitness brand. Our goal is to, remove the complexities from the fitness and let people come to just one platform and buy anything for their fitness needs, be it supplements, weightlifting equipment, weightlifting accessories, apparel, blog, coaching, whatever. So our goal is to be a place where the newbies can come and start their fitness journey.
That's amazing. Now, take me back in time. Where did the idea for this business come from?
The idea of this business actually came from my own health and wellness struggles. Back in 2016, I was actually diagnosed with IBS. And at that time, I used to work as a mechanical engineer, as a project manager for an automotive consulting company. I've been working there for 7 years, and I actually wanted to do more in life than just, do a 9 to 5. And I identified that I need to have more freedom in my life after, doing some other ventures such as real estate and, technical analysis and stock, and all that. I failed on those things. And I realized that, the best thing for me to do is, start an online business. So I looked internally and I was excited about like the fitness aspect of things. I started finding some fitness products, found those. And I started selling those, and the mission grew bigger and bigger. That, hey, because I was actually going through my own struggles of finding supplements, and I was changing my own lifestyle, my own attitude, towards like fitness and health and wellness mindset. So it gave me the idea that, hey, there is not one place where I can go to and find everything that I need for my problems. So it kind of gave me the idea slowly that, hey, I should create a platform where anybody can come in and find anything that they need for their fitness journey. So it started slowly evolving from being just like one product, two products. Then so we started adding supplements, and then we started writing blogs, and then we added weightlifting equipment. We are on our way to add apparel as well in our business to kind of complete that mission of being a one-stop shop.
That's amazing. Now, how did what you'd learned from your previous role as a project manager, how did that translate over to this new like creative endeavor and entrepreneurship and starting your own brand?
I believe anything that you go through life is preparing you for something, in your future. So maybe you're going through some hardships right now and you don't know, like, you're probably complaining about those hardships, but they're preparing you for a better future. So I actually never thought about starting an e-commerce business. I always thought I will be doing a job. Since I'm a kid, like my family, I'm from Pakistan, so there are only two careers that you can choose from, either an engineer or a doctor, So my family wanted to be, want me to be either an engineer or a doctor. So, but when I actually became an engineer, and my boss put me into like a project management type of a role. So as a project manager, I really understood, how to, visualize the end result, how to, plan things, how to make like Gantt charts. I was handling like bigger projects. Those things I think were the, some of the top skills that I actually learned from being an engineer, and a project manager, that I actually transposed into my business. And still to this day, I use those things. And actually a promoter of the quote, yeah, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. So we plan a lot of things. We visualize it. And I'm so all the successful people, they do the same thing, without a vision, without having a goal in mind, defining the steps that, you need to do to get there. You cannot go there. So, planning, and some more planning is what has helped us.
Absolutely. How long were you doing them concurrently? And by that, I mean, how long were you still working the 9 to 5 and then working on the e-commerce business? And when did you make that leap of faith to just focus on the e-commerce business?
So when I started in 2017, first year of our business, we hit 1 million in revenue. And I was still working 9 to 5 because I did not want to quit my job, because I knew that in order for me to scale my business, I have to keep on pouring in more money. So whatever the business was making, I was putting it back in. 2018, I did the same thing. We grew the business, 200x. The next year we grew the business even more. But in late 2019, November 2019 is when I decided that I cannot grow this any further, and it's getting like too much for me. I'm having a lot of anxiety and, doing too many things at the same time. So 2019, we were well, in 7 figures, close to doing 8 figures, is when I decided that, this is the time that I need to quit my job and, go into this like 100%.
Absolutely. Were there any, obviously having too many hats to wear and the anxiety of it, was there anything else going on with the business where you knew if you focused on it, you were going to see the growth that you needed to get that confidence?
Hiring was one of the main things. I was still doing a lot of small things, and I identified that, I actually, by that time, I had like 2 or 3 employees who were doing like few things, but I knew in order to scale further, I need to take more of a leadership role and stop doing things that I am doing every single day, and, come as a leader who strategizes on things, who plans things, gains more knowledge. So acquiring more knowledge at that time became like a difficult thing, going to networking events, going to, those e-commerce events, because I was still involved in my job. So I had to take like time off. So that's one of the reasons that I also quit my job, that, I can put in that extra time and energy into, finding new things, finding new employees, gaining more knowledge, what's working from marketing point of view. Um, and that's actually the time when I decided that I do not want to only sell on Amazon. I also want to sell on Shopify as well as a brand, because Amazon actually suspended my account for 2 weeks during that time, which really pissed me off. For something stupid. Amazon was known for, doing those silly things back in the day. They don't do that anymore. They're not that like stringent, but back in the day, they would just like shut your account for, even like small review manipulation or something like that. So, they suspended my account for 2 weeks, and it really pushed me to, start thinking of this whole thing as a side hustle, but start thinking of it as a proper business, because I'm going to rely on it. So I need to take this like very, very seriously.
Yeah, I felt myself agreeing with you when you were talking about hiring is hard and getting stuff off your plate. I mean, delegation is such a learned skill for entrepreneurs, because you have this ingrained like do-it-yourself mindset almost. Do you have any advice for younger entrepreneurs out there that are struggling with delegating tasks from their to-do list?
Yeah, I know. I'm a believer of getting a lot of knowledge, because especially in the e-commerce industry, our industry is like changing so fast, more faster than any other industry in the world, right? AI is coming, and marketing is changing every single day. Amazon is changing every single day. So first of all, I believe in like, being obsessed with more knowledge. Secondly, I obsess over this quote I use all the time, like, it's not about how, it's about who. It's, I think, one of the examples that I actually use with my employees as well, that Alibaba's owner Jack Ma, if you read his story, he talks about like he just had an idea, like that he wants to create space where he can, bring in all the suppliers and people can find those suppliers. But he did not know a single thing about computers, and till this day, he claims that he did not know anything about computers. And so he gathered the best minds in the world, made them sit together and told them that, hey, I need to solve that problem, solve it for me. So he had the knowledge. And what he did was he found out like who is that person who can actually help solve that problem for me. So I think that's when my business kind of like took like a took gain some speed as well, is when I realized, hey, I need to like find the person. I need I should be obsessed with like finding that best person that fits in that role. Initially, when you're trying to do those things, it's very hard to kind of put that math of like, hey, if I do this, I don't have to pay like this much money to that person. But you need to think from growth point of view. Like if you will do this, you will grow as well. Not just, you're not going to remain in the same state, so if you do this, you will grow as well. So go with that hope, go with that, and give it your best. So once you will do that, I'm 100% sure you will succeed.
Hey there, merchant. Are you tired of trying to navigate the wild world of e-commerce on your own? Are you looking for a partner to help you achieve your goals? Look no further than the Shopify Plus agency Electric Eye. Our team has a proven track record of helping our clients make millions with strategic design and development. Whether you're migrating from a legacy platform to Shopify, designing a new theme for your store, or just looking to optimize what you already have, Electric Eye is the perfect partner for you. Electric Eye are true Shopify experts. Not only is our Shopify knowledge unparalleled, but we have partnerships with all the best tech in the Shopify ecosystem. And don't worry, we're easy to get a hold of. Our clients rave about our fast communication. So here's the deal. If you're an e-commerce business doing over $1 million a year, you can receive a complimentary Shopify diagnostic from our team of experts. That's free, personalized, strategic recommendations to improve your store and grow your business. To get started, head on over to electriceye.io/connect to schedule an intro call with one of our experts. That's electriceye.io/connect. Today's episode is sponsored by Intelligems, the ultimate A/B testing and profit optimization platform for Shopify merchants. You're investing tons of time and money to drive traffic to your store, but are you doing everything you can to convert that traffic into profits? With Intelligems, you can stop guessing and start making strategic decisions. Intelligems platform enables you to A/B test everything from themes to pricing so you can understand what makes your customers tick and click. Whether you're tweaking your UX, testing prices and offers, or trying out different shipping rates, Intelligems provides real-time insights that can directly influence your store's profitability. Join the ranks of over 1,000 Shopify stores that are already maximizing their potential with Intelligems. Setup is quick, and the results are undeniable. If you're not experimenting, you're leaving money on the table. It's that simple. Elevate your e-commerce strategy today. Visit intelligems.io/honest-ecommerce and use code honest-ecommerce for 10% off your first month. You can also find Intelligems on the Shopify App Store and get a 7-day free trial. I want to circle back to something that you said, that the brand started on Amazon and then transitioned into Shopify as well and some other channels. Can you talk to me about getting started and like how did you find your first customers on Amazon?
Finding customers on Amazon is easy. Finding customers on Shopify is the most difficult thing, I think if you find customer on Shopify, is the day you can say that I am actually a business. I believe Amazon businesses are not businesses. They I've seen so many people who were my competitors. They have come and gone because they thought we will launch this product. We are backed by investor. We're going to just burn like 20-30 grand, and I've seen them come and go. But the only thing that can make you stay permanent is making a brand. I am a firm believer of that the future on Amazon is of the brands. It's not about individual products, because if you have branding, you will stay long term, you will stay permanent. So we kind of shift our focus towards the same thing as well, that start treating us as a business, start treating us with a long-term vision that we are not an Amazon brand, we are a business. So as any other business, you can be in retail, you can be on Amazon, you can be on Shopify, you can be on Target, you can do wholesale. If you think from that point of view, then Amazon just becomes a marketplace or a small channel for you. So you really need to think like that, because I believe Amazon businesses are not businesses, because we don't know the complexities, the intricacies of an actual business. We just, because number one thing in a business is to do a sale, and Amazon does the sale for us. We know, like, we can manipulate it in certain ways with the algorithm and all that, but if once you go and get a customer on Shopify is when you realize that, this is actually business. How can you bring them through a funnel? How can you increase their average order value? How can you increase their lifetime value? This is all the conventional, traditional businesses are doing as well. So Amazon, then, if you think from that business point of view, Amazon is just a channel.
Oh man, I couldn't have got a more honest and sincere answer from you that I enjoyed listening to if I had told you to tell me that answer. And I'm going to reference this article, this episode a lot with people. So when I think of Amazon and starting a business on Amazon, I think that if I wanted to test a product and see if I had product market fit, see if the way I'm proposing the benefits and features of my product, to see if there's an audience out there for it, I think launching on Amazon to test that is a great idea, because Amazon has millions of, maybe not billions, but millions and millions of customers that they will let you, put your product in front of. But I couldn't agree more that it's night and day, launching on Shopify, because you have to work to gain every single sale that you get. But the benefit of that is you own that customer and that relationship, and the sky's the limit from there.
Yeah, I mean, also, if you look at any big business, right, they don't think from just selling on Amazon point of view, right? If you think about, I don't know, I'll use the example of iPhone, right? They just sell. They also sell on Amazon. They sell on their website. They sell in retail. They sell on so many different places. Best Buy, Future Shop, or whatever. They don't think about just selling on Amazon. So in order to become a proper business, yes, Amazon is a great channel. Obviously, Amazon has its own customer. You should have an Amazon strategy, but don't just rely on Amazon, because that's not good business.
Absolutely. So, do you remember how far into the business you were when you started to diversify, and you were like, all right, we have to crack Shopify and figure this out, build this flywheel?
2019, late 2019, as I said, when Amazon, I always thought about as I said, I was going through my old health and wellness issue, and my vision was growing bigger and bigger, that I want to build a big brand, much like Nike or Lululemon. But 2019, when Amazon actually suspended my account, it really pissed me off that, I need something of my own. And
so you didn't have a store before that?
We just had a domain. No, we never had a store. We just had a domain. So that's when I started shifting from Amazon conferences, Amazon knowledge, to gaining knowledge of Shopify. And first I realized, hey, Shopify is going to be easy. But, it's a whole different beast. You have to do your branding. You have to understand AOV. You have to understand creatives. You have to understand marketing, sales, customer service, everything you have to understand properly. How does a website converge, CRO, email marketing, SMS marketing, you name it, you have to understand and know it. So if you are not if you don't like being an e-commerce owner, I don't think you can do Shopify. You really have to being you want to be a marketer, you want to be an e-commerce owner, is that, because that thing will wake you up every single day. Even though you're losing money on Shopify, few days you will wake up and you will still okay, what can I optimize?
Absolutely. Do you remember how long it took you, and what the strategy was to start to get those repeat or those first customers on Shopify exclusively?
I would say it took us a while. Late 2021, 2022 is when we actually started understanding. I started attending. I actually attended a course from Tony Robbins called Business Mastery. That really helped me put things into perspective. What's on Shopify there, for actually any business, but for Shopify as well. I say there are three important things. How can you increase the number of new customers and increase their average order value and increase their lifetime value, right? Or frequency of purchase. If you focus on just these three key metrics all the time, obsess over these three key metrics. How can I bring new visitors? How can I increase their average order value and their frequency of purchase, which is the LTV? So if you just increase 10%, let's say your conversion rate is like 2%, but you just increase 10% of the new traffic, you're going to make more money. If you just increase AOV by 10%, have everything else the same, you're going to make more money. If you increase 10% lifetime value, focus on that. So if you make like small increments and just keep on focusing on how can I fix this, AOVs, like you're going to frequently bought together, upselling, upgrading to a bundle, cross sell, and post purchase upsells and cross sells, and LTV is more like email marketing and inserts and community and all of those things. And new visitors is obviously then you go and find different sources of traffic, maybe going for publishers, Facebook, Google, TikTok, SEO, maybe driving some traffic from Amazon. So keep on focusing little by little, and those things will like eventually stack up. But as I said, it took us a long time to understand Shopify. Like branding is very important. Having a good website is very important. CRO is very important. If you don't have a nice converting like landing page or a product page, it's not going to work. People really want to see some reviews, Trustpilot reviews, your reviews on your website. It's going to take a while, but if you keep going, I'm sure that you can like start seeing some results.
Absolutely. I believe like 1% better every day is just such a good attitude to have in life, and especially in entrepreneurship, because that compounding growth is wild. These days, what's like the split between Amazon and Shopify, if you're allowed to share?
I would say Amazon is still 60%, but we are growing every day. We also sell in a lot of other Amazon marketplaces like Canada, UK, Germany. Those are some of the big marketplaces for us. And we sell like FBA, not like we have proper warehouses. But Shopify, my goal is to grow like as much as Shopify. I actually heard from a very big entrepreneur recently. He said no channel should be more than 33%. If any channel is more than 33% for you, you are relying too much on that channel. So my goal is to reduce Amazon to at least 33%. Shopify 33%, maybe retail 33%, so that we are not relying on one channel so much.
Yeah, it's a healthy mix. I've heard similar stuff for service businesses. So like anyone out there that's like a freelancer or an agency person, if you've got one client that's over 33%, if they go away, your business might go away, because that's just too much, too many eggs in one basket to make it very, very simple. Is looking back on what you've done since 2017, is there anything that stands out as like a mistake you made that you can share to maybe let the listeners try to avoid?
That's a good question. I think there was a time when I got comfortable, because in 2020, that's what it took me some time on Shopify as well. 2020 fitness industry was booming. We on Amazon, we blew up. We actually went out of stock on almost every single thing. Shopify, same thing happened. And we got like comfortable for a while. Me and my employees, because we were just like getting sales, and that hurt us. As I said, so this industry is very competitive. I also saw a lot of people come and go. So in e-commerce and in any other business, which, I later found out that you have to stay on top of your game. You have to keep on getting more knowledge, keep on improving yourself physically, mentally, not just from the business point of view, but your own personal life as well. Because I also believe if you're not working out, if you do not like have good health, you cannot have a good business, because your health kind of portrays into what you're doing in business. If you will have a good health, you work out, you have a right mindset, those things will portray into business. You will like think bigger. You will have the right mindset. Things will fail for you, but you will still keep on going. So kind of those things like go hand in hand. And also, I mean, this is like a different subject, but I also also am a believer of, family, fitness, and freedom, like living a life in balance, not just focusing on one thing. That also helps me in my business as well. For example, when I go for a walk, a lot of ideas for me came to me when I actually go out for walks. or when I'm not working in the business, when I'm, working on the business. Like, you step away from the problem, all of a sudden you realize, shit, I need to do, like, this is the next level idea. This is what I can implement. This is the person I can hire. This can be a good. So, sometimes it's okay to step away from your business as well and do other things. So as I said, I believe living life in balance. So if you live life in balance, everything will improve for you. You cannot have like one day where you say, oh, I'm going to go like party every day. So for me, Saturday, Sunday is the same. Yes, you should maybe work less on Saturday, Sunday, but don't wake up at like 11 a.m., or 10 a.m. Just try to wake up have the same day. Work on your goals, work on your career, work on your health, work on your family, try to do community, try to do all of those things, and everything will improve for you.
Absolutely. 1% better every day, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Moose, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience?
I don't know. You probably know your audience the best. But if there is if this is for newbies, I would definitely say that, learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid. I always try to think, because we live in a world of social media where we need instant gratification. Try to think about things from the long-term point of view, long-term gratification. So when you think from that point of view, you make a better strategy. Your mindset is different. Your vision is different. And even if you fail, that, okay, I know this is going to take some time. Tell yourself as well, like, hey, I'm building this thing. This is going to take some time. I give the example of this to my employees as well, like SpaceX, for example, right? SpaceX actually, it took them so many years to develop that reusable rockets, right? They were not selling from day one. So when we actually do a product launch and sometimes it fails, we say it's okay, like, we are going to learn from this and we are keep on gonna, improving it and see where we went wrong. And, but we're going to crush it. We're going to find out where it's wrong and we're going to crush it. So that comes from the long-term thinking point of view. I always think, like, how do I see myself as an 80-year-old or 100-year-old? What are some of the things that I want to achieve when I'm 80 years old or 100 years old? And when you think like this way, your thinking changes a lot. And then you start to do things like bigger things rather than small things, especially in US and Canada and Europe. I believe in Western countries. So I come from Pakistan. People here have very, they want instant gratification, and we live in a life of luxury, or like, our problems are like small problems. Hey, this is not going for me, blah, blah, blah. And then we start complaining. I don't know which subject to choose, or, but if you look at the problems of the rest of the world, they don't think like that. These are like luxury problems for us. So I just say, think long term and everything will like kind of like fall for you.
Absolutely. Those are great parting words, Moose. Now, if I was listening to this episode and I'm curious to check out the products that you are obviously so passionate about, where should I go?
Go to DMoose.com. And if you use code DMoose10, you will get 10% off as well. And you can also find me on Twitter at Mussaverse.
Awesome. We'll make sure to link to all that stuff in the show notes. Moose, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Nice. Thank you so much for having me.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.